Welcome to the eChain A Day in the Life demo series from Chainsys. Today's installment will be a day in the life of an inventory user in eChain. A typical day in the life of an inventory user within the eChain system can consist of several different processes. It may be anything from master data creation to inbound transactions, outbound transactions, move transactions, inventory accuracy checks, and inventory min and max planning. But we'll start today with master data creation. So we'll navigate up to the Inventory tab, Item Setup, and Items. So this will bring us to the Items screen. We'll choose a horizon. Here we'll begin by entering in the item name. 5mm steel plate. Then we'll enter the item type as finished goods. We can select from a make or buy good. In this case, we'll choose buy. And of course, we can select unit of measure and the nature of the item. So here we'll just select inventory and Indian rupees for our currency. And then we can select the type of receipt method we want. We'll go straight to inventory with this particular item. You can also populate additional information such as item location, whether or not it's an active item. Okay, so let's move down to the Planning tab and choose the planning method. Supply chain planning or min-max. For our steel plate, we're going to choose the min-max and enter in the quantities. Place 50 for minimum, 150 for max. And then our minimum order quantity of 40 and the maximum of 100. And reorder at 60. We can also select some sourcing details, buy from, transfer from, or manufacturer from locations. Enter in a fixed slot multiplier. Then we can bring in a sourcing supplier as well, where we're going to get these goods from, and the site that they'll be shipping from. And we can say yes or no to buy only from an approved supplier list. We can also enter in the revision number as well, if there are multiple revisions for this type of item. There are a number of controls that we can specify for items within eChain, item entries. We'll make it lot controlled. Don't need to put a secondary lot control here. We can put serial number controls. Physical inventory controls. And also cycle count. And we can select whether it's a sales order item or not. In this case, yes. We can bring in the item attributes, populate these fields on the next tab. Manufacturer's part number, supplier part number. Any specific handling instructions, storage instructions, typical weight and unit of measure. Then we can also bring in things like length, width, height, attribute, unit of measure, dimension, things like that as well. Okay, so we've saved this new item and the transaction has been successfully completed. We get a notice from the system down there in the bottom right. So why don't we go ahead and set up a warehouse assignment. It's going to be Horizon Warehouse for us. Or actually, we'll be doing General Motors, India. We can select a revision flag here. Enter in the revision number and the date that it's effective from. And then we can go ahead and save this. Okay, once again, a transaction successful. You can see there at the bottom. We can also put on attachments, equivalent items. We can pick up an equivalent item here from our menu. Search through. The 3mm plate is a suitable substitute. Keep it active. Save it and close. We'll go ahead and save the item once again. Okay, so our next process that we're going to take a look at today is inbound transactions within the day in the life of an inventory user. Okay, so we'll go to Report Center, Expected Receipts Report, select the appropriate warehouse and supplier, as well as the supplier site that we're expecting the goods from. Then we'll pick up the PO date, click on Select, and we can see the pending POs. As you can see, there's a couple of them here. It's got some basic information about the purchase order. Okay, so let's navigate up to the Inventory tab, Receipts, and do a purchase order receipt. I can select my supplier, their site, as well as the warehouse. Currency defaults in from the warehouse. Purchase order type, this is a standard PO. We can put in the order number and the method of receipt. And then we can run a search. Okay, so here's the purchase order number, the 5mm steel plate. Select that one and go to the receipt. This opens up the purchase receipt window. Okay, so we can populate the distribution center number. Also enter any comments. This is the receipt of the 5mm plate. So we'll type that into the comments. And then also reference the supplier invoice number and invoice date. We can also select the transporter name that this is coming off of, and even the vehicle number. So there's a lot of detail that eChain allows you to go ahead and capture in a purchase receipt. Sub-inventory is finished goods. Can enter in the quantity that we're receiving today. It's going to be 5 units. Then let's navigate down to the taxes button and go ahead and enter the freight amount. So it's number 1 precedence. It's going to be 35. And we'll display order at number 66. Just in sequence with those 2 lines above. And we'll save it. So you can see the transaction has been successfully completed. We get that notification again from the system. Now let's go to the lot serial information. Type in the lot number. And also the quantity. Serial details. Number 1 through 5. Total of 5. And also let's look at the value details real quick while we're here. You can see the total item cost there, the PO freight amount, also the taxes and total receipts.